Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take out your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, well, let me remind you, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. Call that number. It comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing this financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Macaroni Day. Can we put some cheese on that, Josh? Maybe throw in a little bacon? You're not a mac and cheese guy? Mac and cheese, bacon, or mac and cheese, lobster mac and cheese? I like lobster mac and cheese. Okay, any of those, they work. Don't go very well with my diet program, but that's a whole different story. And today is also, and I don't know about this one, because, you know, I like so many foods. There's not a whole lot that I don't like. Today's National Strawberry Sundae Day. National Strawberry Sundae. So, are you a strawberry sundae kind of person? I'm not much into strawberry sundae.
It is what it is.
Maybe if you have chocolate ice cream, throw some strawberries and whipped cream on. Does that count as a strawberry sundae? Maybe, maybe not. Now, we talk about the national days, but I can't bypass this one. Today is World Chocolate Day. So I can always get behind chocolate. And the other one is National Dive Bar Day. Now, I don't know. I don't know too many. There are a few dive bars around here in North Orange County, but I'm not too much into the dive bars, but you can go with those as well. National Dive Bar Day. Now, Josh is out there in Vegas. There's probably no dive bars in Vegas. Well, unless you go to every corner, right? Is there any corner that doesn't have a bar of some sort, Josh? I don't think you can go too far. Now he's out. He's not near the strip, so that doesn't count, but National Dive Bar Day. And when it's time for mindless TV, totally mindless TV. Diners, drive-ins, and dive bars, or diners, drive-ins, and dive, or whatever it is. Now, that's a good show if you're for mindless stuff. But I digress. Let's move right along, see what's going on in the markets today. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 197 points. We're looking at the NASDAQ is down 281 points. S&P 500 down 38 points. Oil up $1.97 a barrel. 10-year Treasury is up 4.5 basis points. And the mortgage bond is down 18. Remember, bond down 18 points. Bond down, rates up. But look at the oil going up $1.90 a barrel right now. And this just kind of gives us pure thought and understanding of how differing cultures see things differently. So right now in Iran, they're in this period of mourning. And the U.S. said, well, they're mourning for the Ayatollah. And the U.S. says, okay, during this sacred time, there won't be any airstrikes. But that doesn't mean anything to Iran. What do? They attacked 2 different ships going through the Strait of Hormuz in the last 24 hours. And they went from about 60 ships going through the strait to 6 or 7, something like that. And that's why we see oil prices up $1.97 a barrel. So it's just, you can't take our value system and put it on other people. Finish the job, President. Don't sit there and, think that they're going to go be nice people. The Iranian people, yes, nice people. The IRGC, no. And we see that now looking at oil prices, gas prices, because that's what affects you and me. Well, you get to deal with the $3.79 around the country. We're in California, $5.37 a gallon of gasoline. Ow! That's the average around California, $5.37. I'm sure Josh is going to laugh at us because they're over there, probably right around $4.30, $4.40, give or take in that area. A little more than that, $5.50. I know that $5.45. Okay, so they're still way better than we are. But we've got Gavin Newsom. He wants to take the chaos we have in California. He wants to bring that all over the country. You decide. Californians, we've already made our decisions. We like high prices, high taxes. It's just the way it is. So I am looking at certain other things, a lot of other numbers in the markets right now. Why do we follow all these things? Because there's a lot of stuff going on. And right now we're talking to a lot of folks about getting them ready. Ready for what? Well, we look here and we see, if we watch the Fed funds futures, they're pretty much telling us not going to be not much change at their meeting later this month. They're not looking at a whole lot of change, maybe a rate hike in September. I don't think so. October, probably stay the same. I'm going to say it right here on Ron Siegel Radio. I think in December we'll see a rate cut. Not what's showing on the futures market. That is my personal opinion from watching what's going on in the news. What am I watching? I'm looking at a weakening jobs market. You look at the ADP report, their weekly report that came out this morning. It comes out every Tuesday morning. And that report is showing weakness. The revisions show weakness. We're looking at Fed Chair Warsh, who's come out and basically said that we're dealing that he looks like a trim mean inflation number, which is closer to what the Fed's target number is. So all of these things are leading to believe, I think we'll see a rate cut at the end of the year after the midterm elections. I don't think Warsh wants to get into this and come out before then and then have everybody saying, oh, well, he's just a puppet for the president. Don't think that'll happen. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, billionaires could pay cash. They take mortgages anyway. We'll show you the math. You paid it off and your score dropped. Here's why that happened. Everyone says buying is impossible. First-time buyers didn't get the memo, and the IRS does not call you. If someone says they are, hang up. We'll show you the playbook, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a second.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 01869452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. And I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated with actual rates, locked rates. With consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide, they don't tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to determine your principal and interest payments. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, rsrlinks.com/calculators, rsrlinks.com/calculators. What did rates do yesterday? They were mostly up. Conventional 30-year fixed, 6.474, that was up. Jumbo 30-year fixed, 6.50, that was up. FHA 30-year fixed, 6.304, that was down. VA 30-year fixed, 6.118, that was up. USDA 30-year fixed, 6.242, that was up. If you want to know about your house, your neighborhood, it's simple. rsrlinks.com/myhome. rsrlinks.com/myhome. Go in there, get signed up. We'll monitor your home price for you, your mortgage rates for you, see if there's any benefits to you making any changes, all free to you. And every week, we'll send you things to do within a 10 or 15 mile radius of your house. rsrlinks.com/myhome. What's driving the rates today? What's happening today? Well, we've got the S&P 500 is down 31 points. 10-year Treasury is up almost 5 basis points. 4.52 is the yield. And the mortgage bond is down 18 basis points. Remember, bond down, rates up. It's mathematics. It's not an opinion. So we're looking at all of these things. Oil prices a little higher today after reports that Iran fired 2 missiles at ships navigating the Strait of Hormuz last night. Iran attacked the ships because they did not follow an approved route through the strait, which brings into question the memorandum of understanding with the U.S. and shows the fragility of the peace deal. Traffic had been picking up through the strait with somewhere between 25 to 60 ships passing through each day. This was an improvement, but still down from the normal 125 or so. But since the latest strike, only 7 have navigated the strait. The latest attack could invoke fear and cause insurance costs to rise again. Cotality reported that home values rose 0.6% in May, or up 0.8% year over year. Homes have risen in value by 1.6% from March to May. Again, figure California is usually double the national numbers, showing strength during the spring home buying season. It's encouraging to see home values rise during this time, especially with the rise in rates. While it's the busier season and the appreciation is uneven, with some markets outperforming and others showing more weakness. If rates were to fall due to lower oil prices and inflation, appreciation could pick up and be more widespread. That's why you need to be getting the report, rsrlinks.com/myhome. rsrlinks.com/myhome. Cotality forecasts that home prices will appreciate 0.7% in June and 4.8% in the year ahead, which is very strong. ADP released their weekly employment report for the week ending June 20th, showing that on average, there were 21,000 jobs created per week over the past 4 weeks. Based on this morning's reading, it would forecast roughly 90,000 jobs over a full month period. The previous report was revised significantly lower from 31,000 jobs per week to 24,000. The previous report was for the week ending June 13th, which captures the sample week used in the latest ADP monthly employment report. It now perfectly lines up with the 98,000 they reported. Looking at the past 2 weeks, there has been a moderation in job growth, which lines up with the below estimate ADP monthly employment report and the week BLS jobs report showing 57,000. The jobs market may not be recovering as well as some had thought, especially when considering the 74,000 in negative revisions to the previous two BLS reports. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. Borrow Smart segment being brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com. Picture this. Your phone rings. It's the IRS. They know your name. They know where you live. They say you owe back taxes. And if you don't pay right now, you're going to be arrested. Your heart drops. Here's what I want you to do. Hang up. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Tax scams do not all look the same, but they all want the same thing. Your money, your identity, your refund, sometimes all three. Most scams fall into three buckets: phone scams, phishing emails, and phony tax preparers. Let me walk you through each one. Bucket one, phone scams. These are the most common and the most aggressive. A caller pretending to be from the IRS knows your name and maybe your address. They tell you that you owe taxes. They threaten you with arrest or deportation if you do not pay immediately. Some flip it the other way. They say the IRS owes you a refund and they need your bank account information to send it. Here is the rule. The IRS will never demand payment in a phone call. The IRS will never threaten to bring in law enforcement on a call. The IRS will never ask for your credit or debit cards by phone. If you hear any of that, you're talking to a scammer. Hang up. Do not engage. Do not give them anything. If you want extra protection during tax season, do what a lot of careful people do. Let voicemail pick up calls from numbers you do not know. It's much easier to recognize a scam when you listen back to a recording than it is in real time when fear is doing the driving. If you get hit with one of these calls, report it. Local police, the Federal Trade Commission, and the Treasury Inspector General or Tax Administration at 800-366-4484. Write that down, 800-366-4484. Bucket 2, phishing. This is email or text that pretends to be from the IRS. The newest version asks you to update the IRS e-file or profile. Click the link, enter your information, and now they have your Social Security number, which is the master key to your financial life. With a Social Security number, a scammer can file a tax return in your name, claim your refund, and disappear before you know it happened. Rules for phishing. Never open an email claiming to be from the IRS. The IRS does not contact you by email about your account or refund. Stay away from any website that looks suspicious or promises a refund that sounds too big. Never give out your Social Security number in response to any email request. Bucket 3, phony tax preparers. Not everyone who offers to do your taxes is a legitimate tax preparer. The IRS requires every preparer to have a preparer tax identification number called a PTIN. If they do not have one, walk away. The IRS keeps a public directory of credentialed preparers. Use it. Be careful of the preparers who base their fees on the size of your refund or suggest your refund gets sent directly to them or cannot file electronically or refuse to sign your return. Be careful of anyone promising sky-high deductions or claiming to hide your money or telling you to sign a blank return. If they file a fraudulent return in your name, the penalties land on you, not them. The safe path is simple. Work with people you trust, people you follow the law, people who care about your financial security. Now, I am a lender, not a tax preparer, not a CPA. I refer my clients to professionals I know and trust when tax questions get serious. That referral is part of how I look after the families I work with. Strategy beats rate always. And strategy includes protecting the money you already work for. If you want to lock down your financial picture, including making sure your accounts and your credit are healthy, go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Same tool I share with my clients for budgeting, tracking assets, and watching their credit. Use it, then book a call with me if you want to walk through your full plan. I am Ron Siegel, your Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, everyone says buying is impossible. First-time buyers did not get the memo. And you paid it off, and your score dropped. Here's why that happens. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Here's something you would not expect in a market where everyone says buying is impossible. First-time buyers are not disappearing. They're showing up in bigger numbers than they have in years. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Let me give you the number that surprised a lot of people in the business. In May, first-time buyers made up 35% of everyone who bought a home. That's their biggest share of the market since 2020. A year ago, that number was just 30%. So in 12 months, first-time buyers went from 30% of the market to 35% of the market. That's a real move, and it is going the opposite direction of what most folks assume. Now, you might be thinking, how is that even possible? Affordability is tight, prices are high. So how are more first-time buyers getting in, not fewer? Here's the simple answer. More choices. There are more homes for sale right now than there were a year ago. And when there are more homes on the market, buyers have more room to find something that actually fits their budget. More listings means less bidding against 10 other people. It means more time to think. It means a seller who might actually work with you instead of laughing at your offer. When the shelves are fuller, the shopper has the upper hand. So what does this mean for you when you have been sitting on the sidelines? It means do not count yourself out too soon. A lot of people talked themselves out of buying 2 or 3 years ago, and they never checked back in. The market changed around them, and nobody told them. Let me paint a picture. Imagine a couple who tried to buy back in 2022. They wrote 4 offers. They lost all 4 to cash and to buyers who waived everything. So they gave up. They assumed the market was closed to them forever. Fast forward to today. There are more homes to choose from. The frenzy has cooled, and the same couple with the same income suddenly has real options they did not have before. Nothing changed about them. The market changed. That's the part people miss. The market changed. Your timing is not just about your rate or your paycheck. It's about how many doors are open when you go knocking. Now, let me clear up the single biggest myth that keeps first-time buyers stuck. The 20% down payment. So many people believe they need 20% down to buy a home. They do the math on a big California purchase, see a number they'll never save, and quit before they start. Here's the truth. In many cases, we can get a first-time buyer into a home with 3.5% down, sometimes 3% down. Veterans, nothing down. And on top of that, there are down payment assistance programs we work with that can help close the gap even further. So the wall you thought was blocking you may not even be there. Let me put real numbers on it, because here in California, the stakes are bigger. Our prices run about double the national average. It's common for a first-time buyer here to be looking at a purchase or a loan in the $650,000 to $750,000 range. Now, picture that you thought you needed 20% down. On a $700,000 home, that's $140,000. Now, no wonder people give up. But at 3.5% down, that same buyer is looking at closer to $24,500, and down payment assistance can bring it down from there. Same house, completely different starting line. This is exactly where the right guidance matters, because strategy beats rate always. Here's what I mean. Two buyers can walk in with the same price range. One focuses only on chasing the lowest rate. The other looks at the whole picture. Down payment options, assistance programs, how to structure the loan so monthly payment actually fits, whether a permanent payment reduction makes sense for their situation, which programs they qualify for that they have never even heard of. One of those buyers ends up in house poor. The other ends up with a home and breathing room. Same house, different strategy. So what should you do with all of this? If you've ever thought about buying your first home, this is your reminder to check back in. The market you gave up on may not be the market that exists today. The down payment you feared may be far smaller than you thought. Your peers are getting in. They may very well be a path for you too. But the only way to know is to look at your real numbers with someone who does this for a living. I've gathered the tools that help first-time buyers see what is actually possible. Go to rsrlinks.com/FTHB. Go to rsrlinks.com/FTHB. We walk you through the first step, so instead of wondering if you can buy, you will know where you stand, what you really need for a down payment, and what your options are. Do not count yourself out before you check the facts. And get certified. rsrlinks.com/certified buyer. rsrlinks.com/certified buyer. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free, rsrlinks.com/debt-free. You paid your credit card down to zero. You felt responsible. You felt smart, and your score went down anyway. If that's ever happened to you, you are not crazy and you're not being punished. You just ran into a quirk in how the scoring math actually works. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Today, we're talking about one of the strangest little rules in the credit world. A zero balance on your credit card can quietly cost you points. Let me show you why, and let me show you the fix. Here's what most people believe. They think the goal is to owe nothing. Pay it all off, show a big fat zero, and the score goes up. That sounds right. It even feels right. But the scoring models do not think like you and me. They are not grading you on being debt-free this second. They are grading you on how you handle credit over time. They want to see that you use it and that you keep it under control. One of the biggest pieces of your score is something called utilization. That's a fancy word for how much of your available credit you are using. If you have a $10,000 limit and you're carrying $9,000, that's 90% utilization, and that hurts. If you're carrying $500, that's 5% utilization, and that helps. So far, so good. Lower is better. But here's the twist that trips people up. Zero is not the best number. When every single one of your cards reports a flat zero, some scoring models read that as no recent activity. It's like the card went quiet, and a quiet card gives the model less to reward you for. The sweet spot is not zero. The sweet spot is small. A little balance reported on one card somewhere in the range of 1 to 9% of the limit often scores better than a clean zero across the board. So what does this mean for you? It means the problem is not usually how much you spend, it is when you pay. And that's where timing changes everything. Picture this. Your credit card has a statement date. That's the day the credit card company snaps a photo of your balance and sends that number to the credit bureaus. Most people say they pay their credit card off a few days before that photo gets taken. So the bureau sees zero. The work you did paying it down never gets counted the way you hoped. Now flip it. What if you let a small balance sit on the card when that photo is taken? And then you pay the statement in full later. The bureaus see a small, healthy balance. You still pay no interest because you paid the full statement by the due date. Same money out of pocket, better result on your score. That's the whole game, and it's about timing, not sacrifice. This is exactly why I put together a resource on payment timing. If you want to see how the statement date and the due date work together and how to line them up so your score gets the credit you earned, go to rsrccpayment.com. That's rsrccpayment.com. It walks you through the timing piece step by step. Now, why does any of this matter beyond bragging rights? Because a score is not just a number, it's a gate. It decides which door you walk through when you borrow. Let me give you an example. Say you're buying a home, around $655,000, a handful of points can be the difference between one rate tier and the next. It can be the difference between qualifying and getting a no. It can be the difference in what you pay every month for the next 30 years. On a loan that size, moving up even one tier can save you real money month after month, year after year. So a quirk that costs you 20 or 30 points is not a small thing. It can be an expensive thing. And here's the part I really want you to hear. Most people never check. They assume their score is fine or they are scared to look. Do not guess. Go find out where you actually stand. You can check your score at rsrlinks.com/FICO. That's rsrlinks.com/FICO. When you know the number, you can do something about the number. Remember, strategy beats rate always. Chasing the lowest advertised rate does you no good, for a fixable score quirk is quietly knocking you down a tier before you even apply. The strategy is simple. Keep your utilization low, but not dead zero. Let one card report a small balance. Pay the statement in full so you owe no interest. And time your payments around the statement date, not just the due date. None of this costs you $1. It just costs you a little bit of knowing how the machine works. If you want a clear, simple path to get your credit, your budget, and your next money move working together, I put together a set of key steps for you. Go to rsrlinks.com/key steps. That's rsrlinks.com/key steps. It's a straightforward way to see where you are, what to do next, at no cost and no pressure. I am Ron Siegel, your Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free. rsrlinks.com/debt-free. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, billionaires could pay cash for their house. They take mortgages anyway. We'll show you the math. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage 101 we've got for you today. Mortgage 101 brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. Here's a question worth sitting with for a second. If you had enough cash in the bank to buy your house outright, no loan and no monthly payment, would you write the check? Most people say yes before they finish the sentence. The richest people on the planet say no, and they have a reason. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. There was a story this month about the world's richest man. He could buy almost anything in cash. Yet he carried about $61 million in mortgages on 5 California properties against a net worth of $700 billion. That is not a typo. A man who could pay cash chose to borrow. Not alone. One famous tech founder refinanced his home years ago at barely over 1%. With a rate that low, why would he park millions of dollars in a house that just sits there? One well-known celebrity bought a Beverly Hills mansion and then put a $43.75 million mortgage on it at 5.25% after she already owned it. She pulled cash back out on purpose. So what's going on here? Are these people bad with money? Just the opposite. They understand something most homeowners never get told. Money tied up in your house does nothing. It does not grow. It does not earn. It does not protect you in an emergency. The walls do not care how much equity is inside them. The house is worth the same whether you owe $0 or $400,000. At my desk, we talk about 3 things in this order: safety, liquidity, and return. Safety is, can you sleep at night? Liquidity is, can you reach your money when life happens? Return is what your money earns while it waits. Paying off your house early fails the liquidity test. You feel safer, but you have locked your cash behind a wall where you cannot touch it. Here's the part the wealthy understand. If your money can earn more invested than your mortgage costs you in interest, keeping the mortgage is the smarter move. They'd rather keep their dollars working than bury them in drywall. So what does this mean for you? You do not need $1 billion to use the principle. Picture a homeowner with a $650,000 mortgage. They get a small windfall, and the gut reaction is to throw it all at the loan. It feels responsible. But once that money's in the house, it's gone from their life. No emergency fund, no options. If they lose a job, the bank does not care that they paid extra last year. They still want the payment. Now picture that same homeowner keeping that cash liquid and working instead. If something goes wrong, they have a cushion. If an opportunity shows up, they can move. That's the difference between feeling rich and being flexible. And remember, here in California, the numbers run about double the national average. A typical California homeowner is often sitting on 2 times the equity of someone in the middle of the country. That's 2 times the money you could have locked behind a wall doing nothing when it could be protecting your family instead. This is why I almost never tell a family to rush and pay off their mortgage early. It feels good. It hurts your liquidity. The goal is not zero debt. The goal is the lowest household blended interest rate you can build across everything you owe while keeping your money within reach. The billionaires are not smarter than you. They just got better advice. The lesson is not to copy their exact deal. The lesson is the principle underneath it. Sometimes the smartest financial move is not paying everything off. It's keeping your money flexible and working for you. Strategy beats rate always. If you want to see where your own money is sitting and whether it is working or just stuck, I put together a simple tool that walks you through your budget, your savings, and your next steps. Go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to Mortgage 101, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.